58 billion naira was spent on visa applications by Nigerians, and of course, majority of those applications were denied. So today, I want to discuss the issue of fairness and equity in visa applications. I mean, what could be done differently in cases where visa applications are denied and the visa non-refundable visa fees have already been paid. And joining me this afternoon to discuss this is Mr. Jerry Okechukwu, a financial consultant and marketer. Mr. Jerry is also a public relations professional. Good afternoon, Mr. Jerry, and welcome. Yeah. Also joining me in the studio this afternoon is Dr. Marshall Odede. Dr. Marshall Odede is a business consultant, a real estate consultant, and a conflict analyst. He's certified, of course, in conflict resolutions in the United States, and he's also the secretary of COPDEM, Edo State. Yeah. Of course, let's dive right into the nitty-gritty of why we're here this afternoon. Now, I'm going to read something out from my screen. Between June 2023 and June 2023,
are going and don't come back. Now, their policy is very simple. They actually let you understand the reason why you're going to the UK. They want to know what you're going to do. They want to know how much you got. They want to know how long are you going to stay. They want to know who are you staying with. If you're a student, who is funding you? They need to know all these things. Those are informations are very clear. Now, most people actually, especially those who independently want to Japa, in the sense that they want to go for greener pastures, some might be saying they want to go for jobs and others holidays. Now, the visa process, to get a visa, you need to spell out exactly what you're going to do. You don't say you're going to spend 6 months if you are going to, visit somebody. Obviously, they will not grant you that visa. And if you're going for work permit, what is the letter that is, supporting you on the or to the place you're going to work? There has to be a visa, a permit that aligns that you are invited to UK to work, and for how long. That company will certify that to the embassy. Of course, they will have negotiated or probably discussed with that same company to let you go. But for the ones for the students, that one is basically for you to get education. And if you're going there, they know periodically how long you're going to stay. The same process goes that the school authorities must have written to you and also inform the embassy that you're going to be going to that school for the period.
Dr. Marshall, I'm going to come back to you quickly. There were some points you mentioned I would like to ask you questions on. But before that, let me come over to you, Mr. Jerry. Mr. Jerry, you've heard Dr. Marshall. His reason for some of these visa refusals. Do you share the same opinion with him? What are some reasons you feel that these visas have been rejected?
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on this social issue. It's a dimension that is really taking over the talk of the town in the country. In fact, the extent that even the local parlance has become a national language. The word Japa means it was just a slang in the western part of Nigeria, and but because of the popularity of those who are traveling, once you are able to them say Japa, you understand what they're saying. Now, coming back to what Dr. Marshall was trying to say, Marshall was just giving us the normal route of people who are traveling. But I want to tell you, sir, that it is not just the way you see it. There are more to the rejections that meets the eye. In fact, the time I was working in the corporate affairs department of Intercontinental Bank, we used to help our staff process their visas. And I know much about how the visa treatments are done. But from what we are finding, and from the statistics that we are giving, you quoted about almost 80%, rejections of the visa fees. Now, most visa applications are handled by agents or by people who are, who know very well about it. The rejection rate is up to 70-80% and even more. Now, that tells you that there's something wrong. And that is why I'm saying that I want to, align, out of what he's saying, because it shows that the West or UK government, if you can remember, they were determined because of the news, they changed their visa policies.
Yeah.
They tightened the rules without necessarily telling us not to come. But in their own way, they now get your visas, and any little thing. Sometimes maybe you just didn't come on time, it went down, or maybe they will ask you a question and wanted to steal from you, they start a process that they are not doing that. That is why there is that high rate of turnover. And now the visa policy says that if there is a genuine rejection based on what you know, maybe majorly maybe your financials, maybe the way you fill the form, but we fill these forms well, and most of Nigerians are going, they really gather the finances to go there, but here they don't see it up. Now that tells you that this is a gradual, a way, a systematic way they are using to now reduce the number of Nigerians going to the UK. And I say this unequivocally because even the law says that if you reject somebody's application, you are supposed to pay back either half or full the full amount of fees.
The problem here is that some of these organizations, they have their own rules. They tell you it is non-refundable. So even though that is stated, I think where a lot of people have problem is these fees are expensive.
Yes, they're going to increase the fees every day. Just in fact, maybe within 2 or 3 months they have increased it, and by the time you know it, you hear Nigerians spending up to 20 million, 30 million, 50 million just to go to the UK.
Yeah.
For what?
Crazy.
There was one seminar that I was involved in, 5 million, 30 million naira. One of these to start a business in Nigeria.
I mean, is the home environment even enabling for business?
Yeah,
these are some of the reasons. But my issue here is that 68 billion naira was spent on visa applications in 2024. In 2024 alone. And I mean, visa fees for visitors visas are as high as $150. For other categories of visa, it could get up to ₦1 million and above or thereabouts. I am asking, shouldn't there be procedures where if visas are rejected, a part of that money should be refunded? I mean, Dr. Marshall, I want to know your thoughts on this.
Yes.
I mean, what can be done to reduce and the cost of all these things to provide some sort of equity and fairness for those whose visas are rejected?
It has to do with policies, because so far, your standard visa and visitor visa costs you £100 for up to 6 months. Now, if you're using that kind of amount of money, when you value it in naira, it's big money.
That is for us back home.
Now, so I'm sure everybody is aware that within the UK and the government of Nigeria, they must have come to a term. Even if they had an agreement or they had their policies made on, there must be a room for reform. If there is no room for reform, the Nigerian government is at your back. And that is not pursued properly, then something is objectively wrong. And it is not right for you to just say totally blame them. Who is pursuing you to that country?
No, we are not saying they are to blame because they clearly stated on their website a non-refundable visa fee.
Fine. Now,
They say it's there.
now we are complaining because it's too much. The question is, which I agree with you, what are you going to do then if your country is good?
I mean, that's not.
I have what I get to say, and that is the fact that if Nigerian government can actually stand up for our people, this will be like this, because there are other countries. In fact, if you go to Ghana, you go to the Republic, go to other countries in the West Africa, goes South Africa, the fees are not as high as it is for Nigeria.
I agree.
So I don't know what is making them to do that kind of amount for Nigerians and Nigerians alone. They can't try it in other countries. And that's because the government stands for them.
That is the sense.
The government comes for them. And if the country had even been, of course, if the country was doing that, this is what brings me to support the program of COPEM and other groups that are trying to work towards a better electoral environment for the country. If things are right and when elections and the right results are released and the country runs well, people, believe you me, we want to stay in this country to do their business. In fact, it is on record that there are many people who are outside who want to come back to the country. In fact, before this new tenure took off from the current administration, there were already many people that were in the diaspora that were looking forward to come back home to reinvest and continue. Because Nigeria is actually a good place to stay. The conditions in this country is much better than many other countries. And it's like being in prison. If you're in prison and you're in VIP in prison, being a poor man outside where you have your freedom is better than being a VIP in prison.
It comes to mind. I think the Nigerian constitution and law, the content is speaking about the government and advocating towards that. The citizens need to be informed properly about their rights. You don't come to impose fees on your own citizens and allow them to pay, and there's no guarantee of such reform. It makes you look as if you're actually serving those who colonize you until now. Because I will run back to before now. I ask this question: why is it that anytime Nigeria is having an election or the process of having an election, they have to run down to Chatham House in the UK to deliberate about what should be taking place in Nigeria? We are already giving ourselves up. We are already giving ourselves up because one, none of them, when they want to have the last election they had in the UK, where the Prime Minister or this President won, never came to Nigeria to discuss how they are going to be won. So the leverage I'm trying to say here is that we have belittled our citizens by ourselves, the system. So we are not giving priority to citizens to become first in anything we do. So most times I look at it like we are going in circle. These people take advantage of us. And I believe, it's like we are still helping them to boost the economy.
We are. Yes, this visa fees are where it contributes. That's big money for them.
Too big money, because it calculates that amount times the thousands of people that go.
Yes, if you look at that thing,
It's also
change
to Naira. It will be in trillion.
No, in Naira, it's billion
Naira. Okay, yeah, so okay, but that is 600 something billion, right?
68 billion.
68 billion. Now, 68 billion Naira can do a lot. It can do a lot of empowerment. It can do a lot for agriculture. It can do a lot for IT. It can do a lot for advocacy, for the electorate. There's so much that can be done with that amount of money. And now, national government is enjoying.
I think all of this starts from the top. Recently, the president was in France, with the French president Emmanuel Macron. That was in France. Like it was like some kind of party. We saw the governors, ministers, the wife of the president, all of them in France, and all of that display of hospitality, sort of by the French president. But deep down, at the end of that whole this thing, an MOU was signed, and again, bilateral exchange MOU. Now we do not. We've seen other countries, Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, all of these people trying to withdraw from the French partnership. But Nigeria is going in. You know, it's just how pathetic this situation is. And at the end of the day, when Nigerians apply for visas to these countries, they will be denied.
Yeah,
so you begin to wonder, I'm not saying that all visas should be approved, but there should be substantial reasons why visas are denied. There should be explanations why visas are denied. And of course, like both of you have said, if the country is working, then there's no need for us to live in there's none.
You're right.
Yeah.
When any mediation comes for anybody, maybe applicant, there should be a reason for that. And not normally give it to them because I've asked them.
Well, UK gives you reasons for some of the other countries.
They don't do that. And just like you mentioned again, most of our other francophone brothers, they are trying to disengage from France. They're trying to win themselves off the apple strings of the colonial masters. And here we are, Africa's #1 country at the woods.
Number
one in West Africa. We are now on the ones taking ourselves and our own country that we are selling ourselves out to them. Are we being decolonized?
That gives me the high thoughts of knowing that the African Union is not okay. Because if the quota of their members are pulling out of France, why they not discussing how to actually relate to these people? Why are you coming out of France? Obviously, it's because of what they have got. And the more we look deep inside, we know that these people want what we have, not what we are going to get from them. The more we are going to continue to be wanting to jabber, because their effort is actually to get what they want from us. Frustrate us not to come and populate their cities. Yeah, because they are already complaining. They are complaining. And there's a case that happened some months back where I think a young boy, an Arab young boy, I think shot a British citizen. And there was a protest during the election of the new prime minister. And the idea was they wanted all foreigners to leave. They were saying that they want all foreigners to leave. Okay, who is doing the work and who is doing the pursuing? If those foreigners leave, are they going to do their job? They leave those people's countries alone. Yeah, that's fact. Because we want to work, we want to earn a living, we want to enjoy ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But let it be fair that whatever you do to us, we can also do to you. If you're kind to us, we'll be kind to you. If you're not, we will do the same. If Senegal, Mali, and Cote d'Ivoire are pulling out of France, for crying out loud, I don't see any reason why Nigeria should be romancing France right now at this moment. The EU is not, in fact, relatively responsible for anything about the country.
Yeah.
They seem to leave every country that is in that body to do things for themselves. Then the major powers will also look at us like powerless bloc who are not controlled. It's appalling.
I still feel that it's not yet too late for Nigeria to retrace our steps and do the right thing by writing to the British Embassy and complain about this issue of rejections of the visa applications. I also feel if they don't want to write, they can pay them a visit.
Or
These things
you
can
slash it vis-a-vis.
Yeah, it is from these discussions with them, being able to discuss this thing that one, you structure a deal to strike visa fees. Two, you structure a deal to improve on the rejections. I mean, to reduce on the rejections and improve on those that are being accepted. It is from these discussions that other bilateral agreements they agree. So we need the people at the top in Nigeria to pay them the visit, and look into the things and see, just simple discussions and get things to the.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think discussing with them to reduce the rejection, every country is responsible for their immigration policies, how many people they want to get into their countries. My problem here is that you do not charge these exorbitant fees. I'm of the opinion that an administrative fee of say $10 to $20 could be paid for the processing of the application. But visa fees should only be paid on the approval of a visa. So say $10 to $20, $10 to $20 is
20,000 before
Yeah.
something like that.
so let's say $10 to $20 is the standard non-refundable just for processing. That main visa fee should be refunded, should not even be paid until it is approved. That way, people do not end up losing their life savings, all of the things they work for. But some people pay for as much as they pay for themselves, their wives, their children, everybody, and all of them rejected.
I think that's still seen as a business center.
It is.
It is a business.
Because even for the population of applicants alone is enough to make them profitable, to make the profitable venture for them, they're making money for them. They're not to now come to add the aspect of the fees being so exorbitant. And then when they pay these fees, not even half are rejected, up to 70 to 80% are coming down. That is not fair. Those with good conscience should talk about it and talk out and speak out. You have to put them under pressure and to change their policy.
Well, I think everything begins with us back home, the leadership of the country. We should try to make our country livable. We should try to implement policies that favor the people of Nigeria. The people of Nigeria should always come first. I am still deeply suspicious of whatever the president was doing in France. I do not think that whatever was going on there is for the benefit of the people of Nigeria. People-friendly policies should be prioritized so that issues like this will not come up. Nigerian people deserve to, get fairness, equity in all of their dealings.
Somebody was saying that that in France, gave this high diplomatic attention to Nigeria at this time because they have lost Mali,
Yeah,
they have lost Burkina Faso, and have lost Chad and another one. So they're using Nigeria to replace that.
I saw one of the videos where I think some French band was performing P-Square song.
Yes.
Personally, just to
I saw
They're
that.
happy to have us. And that shows that and for any colonial master to be happy to have you, go very deep inside yourself.
If you listen to that lyrics of that song, to me it's like a
They
personally,
didn't sing the song was not taken well.
personally, bunch of money.
They didn't take the song well. It was just a workshop.
It's like a mockery. Why would they be singing this way song when the president of Nigeria said?
Because they know that they are dropping money.
So very good. Now going to be dropping that money. He's making them comfortable, or he wants to make them comfortable. I don't know the kind of bilateral signatures or agreements that they always have. But all we know that we only hear when Mr. President goes to France or UK and comes back and stays a while doing nothing, goes back. In the bid of actually looking for loans, they don't tell us what they do with this money.
somebody saw the picture. I saw on Twitter, somebody saw the picture of the president and the French president. They said, I beg, no give am loan.
Yes, I saw it too. And what he was wearing was longer than him. It was like somebody who hasn't got the measurement of what he wants to.
Because even this loan that he's asking for. Remember that they gave us a very big announcement that we saved money from the oil subsidy, which was taken off. So the savings, we saved money from oil subsidy. I think they say about 2 billion something else, or $2 billion. And now you say that they are not going to France to collect an army to this.
Has he accounted for that? Has he accounted for that money?
So how can you now balance what is happening going on?
They are not doing
You got money, you saved money from subsidy, and you are going to get loan from the same amount. So what are they talking about?
All right, just try to wrap things up because we are running out of time. Quickly, first, Dr. Marshall, to you. any last words or calls to action for the government for our viewers out there, based on what we are discussing?
Yes, to the Nigerians, I believe we have much to earn and much to gain from our country. We should all out there, wherever you are in Nigeria, as long as you're Nigerian, we can't leave this struggle or fight to only us here in Nigeria. We want you all to actually associate, cooperate, and actually, join the bandwagon of cop them, cop them. We want to talk. We want to talk. We're not going to fight anybody. We want to talk. You can only discuss things when you have peace. But when you want to fight, you will never have peace. So please, to Nigerians here, we advocate that we should never stop talking. We should always look for good governance, checkmate these people. We should not be afraid. It's our country. We haven't got anywhere to go. It's our country. We need to stand firm. Firm. Not those people out there, they stand for their country. They're not better than us. They're not. They're not. We could be as weak as they think we are and allow them to take charge of our whole system. We need to be accountable for everything. So there must be a time where we need to cut the line, and say, look, this is my country. I'm going to stay back and do the best I can so that we live for another century and more years to come for our children and children generations to live. But in truth and in fairness, with good justice and equity, then we'll have a country to call our own.
Words that marvel you have said. Very fine words you have spoken, Dr. Marshall. We need to build a country we'll be proud to call our own. Now, Dr. Jerry, any final words? Mr. Jerry, any final words before we leave the studio?
Okay, thank you for the questions. The final word I will give majorly will come on to the headings. The first one is the fact that for those who are traveling outside, who are seeking visa applications, that money you are trying to use to seek a visa application, if you coordinate it very well and stay back in Nigeria, you can get a business going and make it a successful. I trust you and I can tell you that. Then secondly is the fact that we are trying to see how can ensure good governance in the country. Once good governance is enthroned in the country, things are done rightly, the electoral process is not hijacked, and the result of the voting process is what comes out positive to what the people did in the Senate.
Yeah.
Then that means that we are going to get a leader that the people will love. And once a country has a leader of their choice, a leader that knows direction, a true leader that will be in front and others are following, the country will now move. Everything will now fall into line. I'm telling the truth. Agriculture will fall into line. It won't just be a country of consumption, but a country of what? Production. We now produce. And once we are producing, if we strengthen our dollar, people will not be hungry, many people will be working, there will be entrepreneurship, and as I said, everything will not fall into place. So those are the two major things we need to do. One, do not continue going out. Many people are even not trying to come back. They don't even know how to come back again. We are suffering. We are hearing their cries. We are getting messages from some of them that traveled. So traveling is not the best thing. Let us stay and fight it out here, struggle it out. And I bet you we are not going to regret it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jerry Okechukwu. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. The key takeaways from our guests today is we must look inwards, we must look back home, build our country and build a country we should be proud of. Thank you very much, gentlemen, once again for joining us. Dr. Marshall Odede is the business analyst, while Mr. Jerry Okechukwu is a financial consultant and marketer. Dr. Marshall Odede is also the secretary of Codem Edo State. It's been a pleasure having you, gentlemen, in the studio. And until next time, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.